what you got. Oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Trying to make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Trying to make a way. What's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. Don't say nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, looky there, looky there. Good morning, everybody. Look, y'all, I love this little competition that Vanessa Self has created because everybody tries to get in there early. And this morning, Vanessa, you have won. You are the recipient of the congratulatory. You were the first one in the door. So good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Teal. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to, what is today? Today is, man, my days are so messed up. Today's Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to the 22nd of February. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Kristen. Everybody, get in here and get going, y'all. I love it when you guys jump in here and you're fired up. Maybe 10 minutes was good for you. This 6:40 time frame was good for you. I'm trying to get my thing over here to catch up so I can see the comments. I've got a couple of Facebook users that have told me good morning that I can't see. Maybe Adam and Jessica possibly. So I'm just waiting on. I'm waiting on my. Good morning, Casey. How are you? Hey, everybody, get in here. I like it. Cynthia, I like it. I like it, y'all. Everybody's up and rocking this morning. I'm fired up. This is good. Good stuff. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to today's call. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you because today we're talking about something that's super. Good morning, Mags. Give Halson a kiss for me. Casey says, I'm fantastic. Y'all, how good does it feel when you wake up in a good mood? When you wake up early, you start your day in a wonderful mood, and you get, oh, that's an old one. I can't watch that one. No wonder that was not working. Sorry, I've got my other monitor over here that I'm trying to get figured out, and I can't get it to give me what I need. Sorry, y'all. Oh, my gosh, quit. There we go. The iPad is playing little tricks on me this morning. Cynthia's like, hands up, y'all. This is great. I love feeling good this morning. Here we go. Here we go. Now this is what I want, right? There we go. Now I can see my comments, hopefully. All right. So we got Casey, Vanessa, Adam, and Anna. Good morning. All right. There we go. Here we go. Anne-Marie Pettit, y'all. Everybody wave to Anne-Marie Pettit. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie is one of our new agents. She is joining us. We've got a couple, y'all. I'm telling you, this is what's so funny about this business, about our family, is our family. We think we are growing as fast as you think. Maybe we're contracting. We're growing faster. That's what's so crazy. So everybody say hello to Anne-Marie. You'll get a chance to meet Anne-Marie probably next week. But Anne-Marie Pettit is one of our new agents. I'm super, super fired up about that. We've got, we talked to a new agent yesterday. So y'all, let's just get going, man. I'm so excited. So let's go. My name is Aaron Dwyer. My wife, Christy Dwyer, and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. We have offices in Georgia and in Tennessee. And we get up every single morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern, and share some motivation, some love, some laughs, fun started with a group of our agents. Now that's sort of grown into a group of people outside of our company, but we try just to share a little morning love with them. What started as a pretty basic phone call has now turned into a 45 minute to an hour long conversation every single morning. And we know that if we start our days off on the right foot, then we have a really good chance of having great days. And if we can string enough great days together into great weeks and great months and great years, we can create a great life. So happy to share this with you. If you're on this call with us this morning, do exactly what you're doing right now and just say good morning. If you're on the Exit Realty Lake Country Nation, if you're part of our agent group and you're on this morning, just tell us good morning. If you're watching this on YouTube or on some other platform later today, we're glad you watched. Hopefully there's some insight here that helps you get motivated, stay motivated, and be the best version of you. So let's get rolling, y'all. Without further ado, let's rock and roll. So what I was saying earlier is about a year or 2 years ago, what we figured out was every time one person would change and decide to go a different direction and wanted to be and do something else other than be with us or Exit Realty Lake Country, and they would leave, it would open up space for two more people. So every time we would lose one, we'd gain two. And it seems to be that's the way it is right now, that we lose one and gain two. And what's happening now is the ones that we're gaining, the potential in the ones that we're gaining is exponential. And so we're going to be able to watch all these new folks grow and watch these new, good morning, Lynn, we lost your name. Adam and Anna, we lost your names too. So we get to watch these new faces, this new blood, this new life, this new energy come into our group, come into our family, come in to be a part of who we are. And you guys and Christy and I get to pour into them and watch them grow and develop and become these best versions of them. And y'all, it's so exciting. It's such a cool time. Y'all can hear, I hope you can feel it in my voice or hear it in my voice. There's definitely a shift in my spirit. I've got literally goosebumps right now as I'm saying this, because there's such a shift in where we're going, where we are. There's such a shift in kind of what we expect and what we've been doing, that this shift, I'm not joking, y'all. I've got chill bumps right now. The things that we're about to do, the things that we're about to embark on, the phone conversations that Christy and I are having, the circles that Christy and I, that you are going to be able to be a part of now. It is going from, it literally is going from playing at the kids' table and sitting at the kids' table to getting to go eat with some big wigs. I mean, imagine the conversations. You're sitting around the table talking to a bunch of 8-year-olds, or you can sit at the table and talk to Grant Cardone. You can talk to Ed Milet. You're having dinner with some big wigs. You're having dinner with Elon Musk or Tony Robbins, or who would you choose to have dinner with? Would you want to sit at the kiddie table and sit in little chairs like you do when you go visit your kid's school and you're having to eat little cookies and little crackers, or do you want to sit at a table with Tony Robbins and have a ribeye? We are changing the levels that we're at, and we're changing the way that we look at things, and we're changing the environments that we're providing for you guys. But here's the key, because today we're on a really important deal, y'all. We're on a really important, this is number 14, and number 14, it can, again, we're Anne-Marie, we've been talking for the last little bit about, I just finished a book called The 10X Rule, written by Grant Cardone. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, Grant Cardone's a self-made, probably almost billionaire. He's a multi-millionaire, but self-made. He was an undercover billionaire. Christy and I did a training with him recently. Went to the virtual Growth Con. I started reading the 10X Rule because I've had that book for a long time, and I've seen that it's a book that everybody should read. And so in that book, basically the premise of that book is, if you're willing to put in enough effort, if you're willing to 10 times your effort into being a better version of you, if you're willing to 10 times your effort into prospecting, 10 times your effort into just about everything in your life will change. And that's his premise, that you just work your face off. You just work 10 times harder than you're used to working. You push yourself 10 times harder than you're used to pushing yourself. And so in that book, there were 32 things that he listed in the back of that book, at the end of that book, not to spoil it, but there are a list of 32 things, and he explains every single one of these in the book, that successful people do that unsuccessful people won't do. And if you're just joining us on this call, most of you have been here, so y'all know. Anne-Marie, I think you're new to this, but we've been going through all 32 of those traits, all 32 things that successful people do that unsuccessful people won't do or don't do. And today's number 14, and number 14 is go all the way. Number 14 is go all the way. And as you hear those words, go all the way, I want you to try to internalize those words and let those words sink into your spirit, sink into your heart. Let those words just kind of permeate who you are as a person. And I want you to think about all the different ways that you've not gone all the way. All the different situations where you started off with really good intentions. All the different situations where you started off with a gusto and an energy and it's going to be different this time, and a New Year's resolution today. I'm going to stop this. I'm going to start that. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that anymore. And then about 2 weeks from that statement, you stop. You decide to get up earlier than you've been getting up, and you do it once or twice or 3 times and decide, this isn't for me. You decided to start drinking more water and less sweet tea, and you do that 3 or 4 weeks and decide, it's not for me. You decide to eat well for 3 or 4 weeks and decide it's not for me. You decide to prospect one day and feel really good about your prospecting that day, and you generate some leads or you call for sale by owner, but then you decide, that's not for me. So as you sit and think about, as I bring you down into feeling and this kind of feeling where you've disappointed yourself, where you have fallen into a place where you have not fulfilled your obligation to you, because at the end of the day, y'all, if you decide to go and do something, if you decide to go and be something different, if you decide to go try something new, be something better, and you don't do it or you don't follow through, guess who you're disappointing? Yeah, other people may be disappointed out there, but the person you're disappointing the most is you. The person that you let down the most is me. Because it's happened to me. I'm telling y'all, I'm almost the world's worst at starting something and not finishing, not seeing something through. Coach Burt talks about seeing something through to its logical conclusion, seeing something through in the end. Grant Cardone says successful people go all the way. Because guess what? As you start to feel that feeling, and that feeling starts to permeate your spirit, and it starts to settle in your soul, and you get that little pit, that little hurt in the pit of your stomach, that little discomfort in the pit of your soul, in the pit of your spirit. Your heart starts to ache a little bit, and you start to think about all the regrets and all the things you haven't done. I want you to box that up. I want you to box up that feeling. Okay? I want you to put the cover over that feeling. I want you to put tape over that feeling, a bunch of tape, and then I want you to throw it out the window. Throw it out the window. Because guess what? There isn't a doggone thing you can do about that. There's not a doggone thing you can do about the past. The past is the past is the past. The reason that it's past is because it's P-A-S-T, because it's P-A-S-S-E-D. The reason it's past is because it's past. It's gone. It's done. It's like passing an interstate sign. You don't pass the interstate sign and then circle back to pass it again. You don't pass the mile marker to circle back and pass it again. We don't do that. That loop is what a lot of people do, is they passed something in the past, P-A-S-S-E-D something in the P-A-S-T, but we seem to want to circle back to look at it again. We seem to want to circle back and view it again, hoping that at some point, something in our P-A-S-T is going to change. What do you need, bud? They're hanging up in your closet.
Not a good one, and I also don't have any good clean shorts on.
Hang on, y'all. We're having a clothing dilemma. I'm in a roll, and my son just walked down to interrupt my dilemma. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Oh my gosh. Usually he is such a fantastic dresser of himself, but this morning he is not. That's such a bad interruption, Jagger. Holy crap, that's such a bad interruption. I'm so sorry, y'all. Part of being a dad in the morning call and getting a kid out the door. Sorry about that. All it takes to be the best version of you is all you've got. All it takes every single day is all you've got. All it takes is all you've got. Successful people go all the way. And all the way means it starts at the beginning and it goes to the end. It starts where it's supposed to start and it finishes where the finish line is. You don't run the race halfway and quit. You don't go out and want to say, I'm going to go run a mile and quit in 100 yards. You don't say, I'm going to read a book and you quit in the first chapter. You don't say, I'm going to prospect today and I'm going to call 5 people and quit after you call 1. Successful people go all the way. They see things through to the logical conclusions. They go all the way to the end. They don't stop at the halfway point. They don't quit before it's done. How many times have you quit before you're done? You quit when it gets hard. You stop when you get discouraged, when it doesn't work out as well as you wanted it to work out, when it doesn't look like you thought it was going to look, when it becomes inconvenient for you, when it becomes more difficult than you thought it was. You decide to stop and go backwards. You decide to pass the interstate sign and then go, yeah, I like that one better. And you go back to it. You decide to circle back to the past and try to uncover the past and make some memory of the past different than what it was, different than what it is. Because what it is done. What it is finished. What it is complete. You cannot change what has happened, but you can change this very moment to the next very moment, to the next very moment, to the next month, to the next year, to the next 3 years. You can change where you're going. You can't change where you've been. Successful people go all the way. They do everything that it takes. They give everything they have. They see the thing through to its logical conclusion. That's what successful people do. So what are you struggling with right now in your life? What are you doing in your day? What are you getting discouraged in your every single day? And when you get discouraged, what do? What do you do? I know what I do when I get discouraged. When I get discouraged, I tend to sulk. I tend to pout. I start to whine a little bit. Maybe not a W-I-N-E, but W-H-I-N-E. I start to blame a little bit. You ever do that? You ever get discouraged and start to blame external factors? You ever get discouraged and start to blame the market or blame the buyers or blame the sellers or blame this house sucks or blame real estate sucks or blame I'm really not good for real estate or blame I really shouldn't have gotten a real estate license, or you start to blame? You ever done that in your life? Does it resonate with anybody? Anybody ever been in that spot where you kind of just sit around and you're doing this kind of in your spirit with your head in your hands, and you're just kind of sitting there going, well, if the market wasn't so bad, if my clients weren't so hard to deal with, if maybe I were better, if maybe I were smarter, if maybe I were taller, if maybe I had more hair, if maybe I were skinnier, if maybe I drove a better car. You ever done that? Do you know how you beat discouragement? Do you know how you beat being discouraged? Do you know how to beat being down? You go take effort. You go take action. You go give some effort. You go do something. I'm telling you, one of the worst things you've ever done in a human existence in this modern era is when you get discouraged. One of the worst things, probably, I would venture a guess, it might be the worst thing you could do when you get discouraged is get on social media. One of the worst things you could do when you get discouraged is sulk. And how we sulk now is we start scrolling Facebook. We start scrolling people's Seeing what everybody else is doing. Oh my gosh. Oh, she's so happy she just got married. Oh my gosh, look how pretty they are. We start looking at everybody else's highlight reels when we get discouraged. It's a perpetual cycle of discouragement because now we begin to compare ourselves to other people. Now we begin to compare ourselves to other people's highlight reels. And now our discouragement starts to grow into despair. Now our discouragement grows into more discontent. Now our discouragement grows into being disconnected from other people. It starts to build and build and build the wrong direction. Because momentum is a crazy thing. Momentum will go either any direction you push the rock's going to roll. Whichever direction you push the momentum is the direction it's going to go. So if you push momentum towards being negative and discouraged, it's just going to keep growing. And you'll start doing things to enhance the discouragement. You'll start doing things to enhance the discontent. You'll start doing things to enhance your disconnection. You'll start doing things to create more blame. You'll start doing things to make it other people's fault. You'll start doing things it'll be when it's all said and done, when everything comes down and brass tacks, you take all of that away, it all comes down to you. It all comes down to me. The only person that gets to control the momentum, the only person that gets to control what happens to Aaron is Aaron. I'm the only one. And when I decide to go all the way, when I decide that all it takes is all I've got, when I decide that I'm going to get up and go run every single morning, when I decide on the 75 hard things, I've got to do 2 workouts, y'all, everything lines up around me. Yes, I had to get through discouragement. Yes, I had to get through the pain. Yes, it still sucks to go run. I'm trying to get out of that. Christy and I had this conversation yesterday. Y'all, I weigh 203 pounds, 204 pounds now. I've lost a lot of weight, but God didn't make me a runner, I don't believe. Now, that's in my head. That's been in my head since the time I was a kid. That's something that I'm trying. That's a limiting belief that Aaron Dwyer has. It's out there for you right now. Aaron Dwyer doesn't believe Aaron Dwyer is a runner. So every time I get up to go do 75 hard and I feel, it's time for that, my watch goes off and it's time for me to go run, I have a pit. I have that feeling in my gut that sucks. I have a feeling in the hurt in the pit of my stomach that says, oh my gosh, this sucks. Every single time. I wish it wasn't so. I do run, Casey. I do. So it's it's a walk run right now. So one of my 45-minute workouts is, and then in this week it's supposed to change, but my legs have been absolutely dead. But yes, so I walk 5 minutes, run 5 minutes, walk 5 minutes, run 5 minutes, walk 5 minutes. No, I'm a walk runner. I guess if you see me in the 5 minutes I'm running, I'm a runner. But if you see me in the 5 minutes that I'm walking, I'm a walker. I don't know if I'm ever going to be a runner. There's some people who are runners, and Christy said, you need to hang out with people. If that's what you want to go do, and you want to go run bigger distances, then go hang out with people who run bigger distances. Change your environment. Go all the way. Do the thing that needs to be done. I'm just letting you know, I do have limiting beliefs, and I do have things that hurt me and stop me, but all it takes is all I've got. And for me to go be a runner, and what does that mean? Do runners go hang out in different places? Do they go to different restaurants? Do runners, they only shop at Fleet Feet? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what runners do because I'm not a runner. But, maybe I should enter a 5K. Maybe I should, and maybe I will. Maybe at the end of 75 hard, maybe my graduation present to myself is running a 5K. I don't know. But like going to the gym and throwing around weights doesn't bother me a bit. I love to do that. Now I love to do that. I know how to do that, and that's very, very comfortable for me. Running is not very comfortable for me. I'm just telling you right now. But I know that every single day, we're on day 53 or 54 now in 75 hard. I think 53. For the past 53 days, 52 days, today's 53, I have pushed myself every single day. I've pushed myself out of a comfort zone every single day. I have decided that I'm going to give everything I have every single day. And some days sucks, and some days it's awful, and some days it's not convenient, and some days it is inconvenient for my wife, it's inconvenient for my children, it's inconvenient for what I would rather go do, right? But I do it anyway. Successful people go all the way. It's so funny, and this isn't a shot, and I've been thinking about this over the last few days, because everybody, like all the hockey parents see my face, right? They see my face. They've seen my face shrink. My head has shrunk. I'm telling y'all, me losing, and I've lost like 30 pounds, but my head has shrunk, and my hats don't fit right. I have to tighten up all my hats because my big fat head has gotten smaller. And so all the hockey parents see my face, and they're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I get to tell them about 75 hard, 75 hard, 75 hard. I get to share with them what we're doing, what I'm doing. And even last night, one of the parents said, I think I'm going to do like 75 medium. I think I'm going to do like 35 hard. And it didn't strike me as funny or strange at the moment, at the time. But a lot of conversations that I have with people, that's their response. Well, I don't know if I want to do it 75 days. I don't know if I'm going to do it all the way like this. I don't know if I want to do it all. They won't go all the way. Somehow, some way, we've been duped. We've been conditioned into thinking, I'll do it some of the way. If I give a little bit of effort, if I don't do my full effort, if I just give a little bit of effort, I'll feel the same way. And I promise you, you're not going to feel the same way. But we have, as humans, I said this in a call not too long ago. Humans are the only species that has the ability to not fulfill their full potential. I want you to hear that. Human beings are the only adult, the only animal that's on the earth. We're the only animal. Humans are the only, sorry, I'm trying to read comments and talk at the same time. Humans are the only animal on the planet, the only thing built in nature that does not live and has the ability to not fulfill their full potential. Think about that. When an acorn goes in the ground and becomes an oak tree, the oak tree is going to be as big as the oak tree can be. When the lion is born, the lion's going to go be as much lion as it can be. The lion's not going to sit around and go, you know what? I don't feel like being a lion today. I think I feel like being a cheetah. I don't feel like being a lion today. I think I'm just going to be an elephant today. No. When the lion's born, the lion goes and fulfills its full potential. It is it's going to go be the baddest lion it can be. And sometimes that means the lion's got to fight other lions. And sometimes that means the lion's got to go do things that make the lion uncomfortable, because the lion doesn't get to sit around in the shade, underneath the shade in the Sahara and out there in the grass and just sit there and just rest his head on his hand and go, boy, being a lion's fantastic. I think I'm just going to be here today and do nothing. No, that's not what lions do. So Kristen Sheffield, if y'all can't see these comments, Kristen says, I'm working on something right now that isn't in my comfort zone whatsoever, but I know it's what needs to be done to take me to the next level. And I've told two people that I know who I'll put on here. I've told two people that I know to keep me accountable when her bitch voice starts talking and tries to take over. Because here's the thing, when any challenge confronts you, you have a bitch voice that takes over. And I'm sorry if I offend you, but that's just the way it is. Every time you're confronted with a challenge, there's a little voice on your shoulder. There's a little thing, your little ego on your shoulder sits there with their little legs draped over your shoulder and sits there like this saying, that's going to hurt. That's going to be hard. That's going to be tough. You're not going to like it. You probably ought to do something else. It's not going to be good for you. This is probably not a great thing. You're going to get disappointed. Anybody ever heard those voices? Have you ever heard those voices? This is a good one. Michelle Tilson last year did 75 medium, and the results were nothing compared to this time. And guess what? Here's where the results for Michelle are. They're in her head. They're in her heart. They're in her mind. They're in her spirit. They're here and they're here. And those two things are connected. And Michelle Tilson has become a badass because Michelle Tilson has proved to herself that she can do the hard thing over and over and over and over again. Go all the way. When you see something that you need to commit to, you've got to go all the way. All it takes is all you've got. You've got to fulfill your entire potential. I'm reading Coach Burt's book right now, Flip the Switch. So far, it's been a great read. I just finished Ed Milet's book, The Power of One, or what is it? The Power of One More. I just finished his book on the airplane last weekend, and now I'm starting Coach Burt's book, Flip the Switch. And right now, the introduction in the first 10 pages have been absolutely fantastic. But in the Flip the Switch book, he's talking about your prey drive, your internal instinct, your latent potential, that thing that's in you, that God put in you, that you've got to develop, that you've got to go every day and grow and mine out of the rock, that you got to beat that rock and chisel that rock away, because there's diamonds on the inside of that rock. There's gold on the inside of that rock. There's value on the inside of that rock that you've got to work through the stone and work through the rock to find. All it takes is all you've got. Successful people go all the way. They commit, and they go all the stinking way to the end. So all the crap that you've told yourself about you in the past, all the stuff that you have piled on and layered on, all the things that have happened to you in the past, all those things make you who you are. That's it. They only make you everything that I've been through makes me who I am. It's contributed to who you see in front of you on February the 22nd of 2023. All the things I've been through in the past contribute to who I am right now, but they do not define who I am. What makes me who I am is who's sitting right here, right now, at this very moment, and who and what I decide to do from this moment to the next moment, and the next moment to the next moment. That's what defines who I am. That's what defines who you are. If I want to go be a runner, then I'm going to go freaking run. If I decide that I'm going to be considered a runner, and that's going to be something there's a guy on Jaggers hockey team. There's a kid on the hockey team. His dad has run every day for over 7.5 years. Now that's a runner. That dude's a runner. They run half marathons. They run 5Ks. He is a runner. Now, when I see him, I don't see him. You wouldn't, if you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't say, I bet he's a runner. Because most of us, we think about Usain Bolt. We think about these tall, lean, skinny, thin dudes. God didn't make me tall, lean, and skinny. He made me short, stocky, and chunky. That's how he made me. He didn't make me a gazelle. He made me more of a gorilla. I'm not sure if you've seen many gorillas running 5Ks. I've seen gazelles run a long way, but I hadn't seen gorillas run a long way. He made me more gorilla than gazelle, and that's kind of but again, that's my own personal hang up. It's something I'm going to have to work through. But if I decide that I'm going to go be a runner, if I decide I'm going to go do this thing, then I got to go do this thing. And I don't do it one day. I don't do it 2 days. I don't do it 3 weeks. I do it until it's done. We get in such a poor habit space, such a poor headspace, where we do things 1 or 2 times and thinking that's enough. We do things 1 or 2 times. We go to the gym for 2 weeks, and because we're not fit all of a sudden, we quit. We start doing things to take care of ourselves, and because we don't see immediate results, we don't see it happen immediately, we quit. We stop. We revert back to a comfortable place. We revert back to mediocre. We revert back to a place where we don't challenge ourselves anymore. We drive past the interstate sign and then turn around and go back and pass it again. And then we wonder why year after year after year after year, it looks exactly the same way. I cannot tell you how many times I've had the conversations with friends of mine, accountability partners of mine, people that have been in my life for a long time that have seen me through a lot of stuff. Because there aren't many people in my life who've seen me through the beginning to now. There's only 2 or 3. But I've had this conversation over and over and over with them. I've used this phrase over and over and over with them. It feels like I'm walking around the same bush. It feels like I'm walking around the same tree again and again and again. I'm passing by the same thing again and again and again. Have you ever had that feeling? Do you have that feeling now? That you do the same things over and over and over again? When are you going to decide to interrupt that pattern? When are you going to decide to stop doing it over and over and over again? When are you going to decide to flip the script on you? When are you going to decide enough is enough and I'm going all the way? I'm going all the stinking way. When are you going to decide that that dream, that goal, that desire, that thing that you want to go after is so big, so strong, so meaningful, so powerful that you know that achieving that thing will not only change your life, but it'll change the lives of the people around you? When will you decide to go after that so strongly and with so much dedication that the people around you don't have any choice but to get in line? When will you decide that? Because I'm telling you, if you're in this company right now, Anne-Marie, if you're in this company right now, Adam, Jessica, all you guys that have been here for a minute, if you want to change your results, change your efforts. If you want to change what happens at the end, then change what you do in the beginning. Change what you do in the middle. Commit to going all the way. Commit to going all the way. Come hell or high water. Come pestilence, come famine, come joy, come pain, come sorrow, come happiness, come cold, come hot, come rain, come sun. Commit to yourself to go all the way. Because here's what's going to happen. I talked about Noah a couple weeks ago. God has given us, the universe gives us so many examples of when we commit to being the full version of ourselves, when we commit to being the full version of who we are, when we commit to living out our full and unmatched potential, when we commit to being exactly who God created us to be and walk in our full potential, when we commit to doing that, God provided Noah a forest to build a boat. God will provide you more than enough to be exactly who he created you to be. That's what you can believe in. That's what you can know. That's what you can have confidence in, is in whenever you decide to go be the best version of you, I promise you, God, the universe is going to line everything up in your favor. And as long as you stay the course and you endure the pestilence, you endure the hardships, you endure the people talking about you. I told y'all this, at about day 20, Christy wasn't happy with me working out twice a day. Day 40, she's making me work out twice a day. Because there's going to be times when you're going to want to quit. You're going to need people in your life who are going to say to you, you ain't quitting today, brother. You may want to quit one day, but it's not going to be today. You can quit tomorrow, but you can't quit today. You need people in your life who are going to push you. That's why I'm in your life. That's why you're in my life, because I'm going to push you. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to help and do everything in my power to get you to your full potential. That's why you're at Exit Realty Lake Country. That's why you are in our family, because that's what we're going to do. We're all going to line up right beside you. We're going to grab you by your hand. We're going to grab you by the arm. Sometimes we're going to put our foot in your ass and we're going to have to push you to some place you don't want to go. And that's okay. Because I'm telling you, once you decide that you're comfortable being uncomfortable, once you decide that it's okay to feel bad for a second, once you decide that it's okay to be uncomfortable for a second, once you decide that it's okay to walk into the unknown, because as soon as you took that step into the unknown, what you realize is that the unknown becomes known. When you take us, when all you see in front of you in the 100 feet that you're looking at is fog at 100 feet, what's amazing is when you take 101, when you walk 101 feet, the fog dissipates. When you take one step into the fog dissipates. When you take a step into the darkness, what do your eyes do? They adjust. The darkness doesn't become as dark. The unknown starts to become known. And as soon as you find yourself in the face of fear, in the face of fear becoming courageous, y'all, and you walk into your fear with courage, what's amazing is the fear goes away. The perceived threat, that's all fear is. Fear is evidence appearing real, false evidence appearing real, things that you think may happen that haven't even happened yet. We get scared that somebody may hang up the phone on us before we even call them. We get scared because we're afraid that somebody's going to tell us no, so we don't call them. We get afraid that we go knock on somebody's door, they're going to pull a gun on us and shoot us and blow us off their porch, so we don't go knock on their door to tell them, hey, we're here to help. No, but that's what we do. None of those things happen. Have you ever heard of somebody being shot on the front porch? No. Michelle Tilson door knocks every single week, 3 or 4 times a week, every single week, and she's still alive. I've called thousands of people, cold called thousands of people on the phone. Guess what? Never been to jail, never been beat up. I've been told no thousands and thousands and thousands of times, and I'm still here with a smile on my face. When we walk into the fear, when we walk into the unknown, we generate our courage. The more I run, the stronger I get. The farther I run, the stronger I get. The more pain I endure in the short runs, the farther the runs get. The more I endure and shut my brain off and go, the body has a way, the mind has a way of resetting what I feel and making me feel better. Successful people go all the way. They don't just start, but they finish. So whatever it is today, one thing today that you've started, I want you to jump in there and finish it. I want you to jump in there and take a next step towards the finish. I want you to jump in there and pick it back up and take one more action to get you to the finish. That's what I want you to do today. I want you to resolve to yourself today that I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to go all the way. Set your things up today. The 5 people that you need to talk to, the 5 people you need to go figure out that need your services, the 4 or 5 people that need you to help them find a house, the 4 or 5 people that need you in their life to help direct them to the next place in their life. I want you to make a commitment to you today. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm going all the way today. I'm not going to quit. I'm going all the way today. Successful people go all the way today. Now I've got to go all the way to White House. So I've got to get off this call. I love you guys. Be good, be great, be you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, y'all.